President Trump landed in Europe this afternoon. Before he left, he called out NATO allies for not paying enough money into the group. And he said the military alliance benefits Europe far more than the United States. Correspondent Wyatt Goolsbee reports from the Pentagon. Good evening, Wyatt.
Good evening, Lauren. President Trump and Defense Secretary James Mattis are now in Brussels. They'll attend a NATO summit over the next 2 days. The president says that European members need to step up.
We do have a lot of allies, but we cannot be taken advantage of. We're being taken advantage of by the European Union. We lost $151 billion last year on trade. And on top of that, we spend at least 70% for NATO. And frankly, it helps them a lot more than it helps us. So we'll see what happens.
The president responding this morning to criticism by a senior European Union official, Donald Tusk. Tusk accuses President Trump of criticizing Europe almost daily and is urging the president to remember who his friends are.
The America appreciate your allies. After all, you don't have that many. And the Europe spend more on your defense because everyone respects an ally that is well prepared and equipped. Money is important, but genuine solidarity is even more important.
Tusk went on to say that Europeans are spending more on defense than Russia and just as much as China. It's not the first time the president has been tough on NATO. Before he took office, President Trump called out members of the military alliance for failing to spend at least 2% of their GDP towards their own military. The president and the First Lady took Air Force One this morning to NATO headquarters in Brussels, but it's not their only step. From there, the president will travel to England to meet the Queen and then to Scotland for a golf weekend. Then finally on Monday, he will meet with the Russian President Vladimir Putin in Finland. Lauren?
Wyatt, President Trump and Secretary Mattis will be talking about Russia during the NATO summit. The president's relationship with Vladimir Putin has been receiving a lot of scrutiny. What will the conversation look like? What does President Trump at this point in time want from Putin?
It's hard to say for sure, Lauren. The president says he's not even sure whether or not he would classify the Russian leader as a friend or a foe. What he did say, the word they did use, was that he called Putin a competitor and admits the two have very different goals here. And that's what they'll be thinking about during this NATO summit. Putin wants the U.S. to end all of its military presence in Europe and at least scale back U.S. forces. But at this point, the United States has no plans to do that. The other sticking point here is sanctions, and the U.S. has no plans to let up on any Russian sanctions either. Lauren?
Correspondent Wyatt Goolsbee reporting from the Pentagon. Thank you, Wyatt.